This is what I was born to do. Time to let the world know.
And both sides on the floor getting ready for the game ahead, and it's almost that time. Greetings, everyone, from Sacramento. The Kings playing host to a Western Conference affair here in the capital of California. Buckle yourselves in, everybody. It's the NBA on 2K Sports, and here with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. One of the guys we'll be watching out for today, the developing DeMarcus Cousins.
Well, something he's worked on, Kevin, is trying to play with a little less emotion, trying to stay more poised and composed, because he's a player who has a temper. He has a lot of fire inside him, but he can't let that be used against him.
And another thing about him, Steve, true or not, is that he sees himself as the unquestioned leader of this team. He's not afraid to really get on his teammates if they're not performing up to par.
The road trip for the Rockets ends here as they leave for Houston right after the game. With most of their upcoming games taking place at home, they have a chance here to make a nice little push.
You know, checking out the Rockets, they've certainly lived up to expectations in this young season. Much improved and very confident in how they're playing.
Lynn against Thornton. Here's Howard. Uses both hands to slam it down.
Well, I'll bet his teammates love playing with him. He's distributing the ball perfectly.
Well, he keeps everybody happy, and you know what? The assist numbers don't lie.
Last game for Houston, they picked up the win against Golden State.
And guys, they could have won that game on the strength of their offense alone. It was that good.
And to do it on the road, too. I mean, with the way they just kept coming at him and coming at him, they kept that crowd out of the game the entire time. That's good work. Boy, the kind of moments you love to see. Excellent defense leading to a dunk at the other end.
Clark, you got to marvel at the transition game when they've got it clicking. It's really explosive.
High octane for sure.
Oof. Yeah, turning defensive pressure into offensive opportunities. That's what it's all about.
Tell you what, it was a big move for Aaron Brooks last year because he was let go from the Kings near the end of February, but was able to work things out and make a return to Houston, the city where he found success early in his career.
The feed now to Lynn. Good. And now an 8-point Rocket lead.
Not trying to rattle any rims or racks there. Just up and in with the finger roll.
Thomas dishes to Selmans. Selmans off a pick from Wolf. From deep, Thornton. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. And Brooks played in China during the condensed season in 2011, 2012. Aaron kind of got stuck over there for a while, it seemed like.
Well, he took a chance, like a few players did, by going over, playing in China, and not being able to get out of his contract until very late in the NBA season. But he's always been a productive player, very quick, kind of an instant offense type guy off the bench.
Took the opportunity when he saw it. Selman's got 8 points.
A good open look, and he splashes home the three.
So for the Kings, they come in off the loss to the Suns.
Well, loss or no loss, that was a fantastic game, Clark. They can be proud of the way they battled at least.
I suppose, but Steve, it still was a really heartbreaking loss. I mean, you hate to lose in overtime. No matter how hard you played, it still leaves you very empty and disappointed when you come up short.
And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Rockets.
Well, they're trying to play fast and trying to put the defense on their heels.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnovers.
And that one falls for Lynn.
Well, Jeremy Lin has been getting it done. Already with 8 points and 5 assists. He's really having a big impact here early.
Not wasting any time today, is he, guys?
That one misses.
You take a look at the offense for the Kings last season, there are some things to build on here, guys. 4th in the NBA in fast break points, top 4 in points in the paint. Those are good numbers to build your offensive foundation around.
And Beverly kicks to Jones. Can't get it to go. Excellent D that time from Wolf. The Kings trail by 8. Now here's Vasquez. Last time out he had 13 points. And it'll be Sacramento as it goes out of bounds. The Kings retain possession. But for the Kings, I think Coach Mike Malone will try to get them to play a little more unselfishly, Steve, especially at the offensive end.
Yeah, they had a team last year that just seemed to be jacking up shots anytime they could get one up individually. They were among the lowest in the league in assists as a team. A lot of isolation basketball. It was not pretty to watch.
Just 5 on the clock. The Kings need to get off a shot here. Cranes the three-pointer. Vasquez has got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Here's Garcia. He kicks to Beverly. And the official signaled the backcourt violation. Not very careful there. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. Taking a look at Houston. 4th in the conference, an excellent season so far for them, though they'd like to jump into the top tier, maybe the top 3. And checking out Sacramento, 3.5 back.
Right now for the Rockets, they've certainly lived up to expectations in this young season. Much improved and very confident in how they're playing.
Yeah, a team solidly in the hunt for the playoffs. Plenty of talent on that roster. They're just looking to get better each and every day.
Here's Wolf. Good D by Jones. Houston leading by 5. Garcia goes in. Here's Caspi. They get it back. Poked away. It's stolen by Fredette. Here's Vasquez. And Garcia with the block. A shot's good for Wolf. A minute 50 left to play in the first quarter. Here's Beverly. He's covered by Fredette. And that one's good. Beverly.
Well, their plan of attack has been pretty clear to see. Get the ball inside and just take it strong to the hoop. Be dominant in the lane.
Well, the defense has been very slow to adjust. I mean, that's 10 straight points now inside.
Thompson, a screen on Jones. From outside the arc. Rebounded by Caspi. Houston's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. Caspi gets the screen from Smith. Off the screen. That one wide left.
I'll tell you what, the mid-range shot is not the easiest one to make, but when you've got daylight like he had there, I mean, those are shots you want to make.
Such a careless pass. You got to keep your head in the game here.
Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Jason Thompson. Here's Beverly. He's coming off a 19-point game against Golden State. Outside, Garcia. Dishes it to Caspi. A 3-ball. That drops. Caspi's got his first 3 points of the game.
Most any NBA player can make you pay when you leave them that wide open. That's why you have to stay alert on defense.
Fredette, the pass to Patterson. The 10-footer. No good from Wolf. Rockets leading by 8. 3-pointer. Fredette grabs the miss.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide open opportunities.
Shoots it. Collects the 2-pointer near the hoop.
Well, he wasn't fazed at all by the bigger man on him. And on the low block, I thought he might be.
You know, Steve, I thought maybe he'd prefer to bring him out to the perimeter, but whatever works, go to it.
Here's Beverly. Got a piece of it. And so it looks like the Rockets will retain possession here. Houston making a switch here. Three from the inbound. That's good. Beverly's got 5.
And the story of this game in the early stages is just how well they've been shooting the ball.
Steve, their percentage from the floor is really impressive up to this point.
To the inside. Here's Wolf. Nails the baby hook. Whoa. The Machine's got his second bucket of the game to go.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Yeah, they've been the aggressors, Clark, and getting the ball inside into that lane area has been huge for them.
The scoring fast and furious as we end the first quarter. Rockets lead by 7. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back.
This Tuesday night, December 17th, DeMarcus Cousins and the Sacramento Kings go up against the Charlotte Bobcats. Live from Time Warner Cable Arena. It's the real deal.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And when you consider how the Rockets are doing, Steve, Clark, what are your thoughts? Wolf in at power forward. Thomas is out there with McCallum. Then it's Thornton. And it's Thompson in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the 5 out there for the Kings.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
Brooks kicks to Howard. Thornton against Parsons. 6 to shoot. Here's Brooks, drilled from 6 feet. Brooks has got 11 points.
Mike Malone, the new head coach of the Sacramento Kings, son of a former NBA coach. Mike has been credited with helping teams improve their defenses, whether it was in New Orleans with Chris Paul, last season with Golden State. But Malone, very well regarded in NBA coaching circles.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Hi, guys. The machine in their last game against the Suns was superb. He dropped in 24 points and did a good portion of his work from the free throw line as he drew a good number of fouls. This game of his was just a standout, all-around display of basketball. Coaches love to see that, Kevin.
Thanks, Doris, for revisiting what was an astounding performance, Clark.
It clearly was one of those games that when we look back on his career, this game would be right there among the best ever that he's played.
Well, he was in the zone from the outset. It was just one of those games where he was feeling it. Everything was going his way, and he attacked, and that's what I like. Once he knew it was his night, he just attacked relentlessly.
And the Sacramento team, Clark, not without offensive talent, but their defense has been their shortcoming.
And that's the area they've got to ramp up and improve. And Coach Malone is going to have an opportunity to put his stamp on this team by improving them at the defensive end of the floor.
Howard setting the pick for Brooks. Brooks gets the screen from Howard. And Brooks, here we go. Parsons on the wing. Left side, Lynn. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. A moment now to look at the all-time list for blocks in a season. 7'4", Mark Eaton with 5.5 blocks a game. Wow.
That is a ridiculous number, Kevin. Eaton was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Just a 4th-round pick out of UCLA back in 1982. Tell you what, he sure panned out for the Jazz.
And the first one drops.
You know, Jeremy Lin made a lot of strides last season on the court, guys, but I think in order for him to take his game to the next level, he's got to be a bigger and more consistent threat from outside. If he can home in on that 3 ball, I think he'll be much more difficult to defend.
Caspi, he's checked in for Parsons. Both free throws good from Lin. And for Jeremy Lin, his 3-point stroke did improve as last season wore on.
Well, once he got his legs under him, he was shooting over 40% from long range. And that's key when you're playing alongside a guy like James Harden, who's so good with the ball in his hands.
McCallum, the pass to Wolf. Goes up off the pick. Goes straight through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. That's on Dwight Howard.
That's basketball 101, guys. I mean, elementary. Use the screen to free yourself and then take it straight to the rack.
Yeah, very nice set play for him.
Well, that's using your head and using your body.
Houston making a switch here. Ashik's checked in, and that one misses.
You know, the Rockets did a lot to make over their backcourt last season as they brought in 2 big names in Jeremy Lin and James Harden, and that's not always an easy adjustment. Took a little time for both of those guys to figure out how to coexist in the pick-and-roll offense.
And the Kings pushing it up now. McCallum with the bucket. McCallum's got 7 points for the quarter. And a breakdown here, guys, the hustle stats for the Kings.
You know, they've done a great job of getting a hand up on shooters. Actually have gotten a lot of blocks as well, solidifying that defensive effort.
And another thing they've been doing right is converting a lot of second chance opportunities. I love the hustle and the effort.
Outside, Lin kicks it to Jones. Pulls up, buries the easy one. And Clark, as you said, it took some time for this Houston backcourt to learn how to play with each other, but that is the case for any duo. Eventually, Steve, they found a happier medium, and that initiated some great offense between them.
Well, they were much more effective down the stretch last season, Kevin, and I thought it really showed in the way Lin and Harden kind of played off of each other. So, you know, a lot of teams seem to want to have that second option for bringing the ball up or for attacking, and it is very effective to have a couple of guys who can each attack and create.
Brooks dishes to Lin. Back to Brooks. Fires from deep. Thompson with the rebound.
Well, it looks like it's in his head right now. He looks tight. He's not producing, and his team's struggling as well.
No good from McCallum. Rockets trail by 11. Jones sets the pick for Lynn to the wing right side. Caspi with the bucket.
Boy, that was a rugged screen set there, fellas, and the defense didn't even try to go through that one.
Sacramento's gotten the three-point shot off 16 times tonight. 7 times they've hit it, 9 times they've missed. Thompson passes to Wolf, and it's going to be a 3-second call. And let's see which big men have had the softest touch lately with this look at the leading field goal percentages among centers and power forwards in the last 10 games. Look at the machine, leading the league in field goal percentage. He always gets good looks.
Boy, he's just a dominant presence in the low post. He gets so many good looks because he works so hard to get into good position down low before he actually catches the ball.
And I like the way his game is adaptable based on what the defense is showing. I mean, he'll change it up from game to game as long as he's still able to get high percentage shots.
Pass to McCallum, uncovered. Second chance shot. No good from Wolf.
Terrific defense at the rim. They got right in his path.
You know, that's part of what great defenders do. They get not only in your path, but in your head a little bit too.
Jones, he clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls. Now it's just a 3-point Kings lead. Sacramento's gotten fond of that 3-point shot here in the second quarter. 4 of 9. There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Wolf passes to Thompson. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Nice work to get inside and draw the foul.
Yeah, it's obvious. The defense not going to allow many easy layups. They're going to make you earn it from the line.
This is his first free throw of the game.
Well, not the best statistic for him. I mean, his performance at the line, of course, very low numbers.
And guys, this has not been a season to remember for him at the free throw line, certainly to this point.
And he makes the first. The Rockets making a switch here. And so Thompson nails both of them. There's 14 seconds left to play in the first half. Brooks kicks to Beverly. It's stolen by Fredette. With 1 on the clock. And the layup is good for McLemore. And the Kings lead by 7.
Terrible transition defense there.
I think it would have been pointless, Steve. There was no way anybody was beating him to the basket there.
And the first half is now in the books. The Kings on top, leading by 7. Live from Sacramento, you're watching 2K Sports.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Welcome to 2K Sports. It's been a great Sunday of basketball so far. The Sacramento Kings ahead against Houston, a team definitely in the mix for the playoffs, and as a matter of fact, if they win this one, they'll move into the 8th spot. Their offense has been firing on all cylinders. It's been a thing of beauty. Isaiah Thomas getting it done through 2 quarters. He's got 11 points, and in addition to that, he's been a factor on the glass as well. Couple of helpers, too.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
All right, the second half beginning in just a moment.
Tremendous output from Brooks. He's got 13 points and 3 steals.
Tell you what, this guy is just an unstoppable force, guys.
There's been nothing they can do to stop him.
Kings leading now by 7. Getting underway. Williams against Thomas. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, you know, guys, the Houston fans could be forgiven for not having heard of Umir Ashik when the Rockets signed him as their starting center a season ago. He was a second-round pick out of Turkey in 08, a backup in Chicago, but he's quickly shown himself to be a key piece of this promising young core.
He's off on the first. And you have to give the Rockets credit for going after Ashik, a player who never averaged more than 15 minutes a game with Chicago, a restricted free agent with the Bulls, and became a very important part for the Rockets.
Well, they clearly saw something special with Ashik. He's a great rebounder and defender, uses his body, understands angles, and plays that verticality really well as a defensive center.
And no good on the second free throw, so he goes 0 for 2 there.
Well, the business of the NBA in pretty good stead. The Kings sold back in May for a record price of $525 million, and the Seattle group had offered even more. Team value is certainly on the rise around the league. Better arenas, more lucrative TV contracts. Part of the reason that's the case.
There's the pick. Here's the machine, defended by Ashik. Just 4 to shoot. For the lead. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And back to the bidding war for the Kings with the great offer from the Seattle group. Steve, do you think there's a chance the league could expand to Seattle?
I think so, especially with that tremendous offer that the Seattle group put forward. And now the new CBA, it's made it much more favorable for the owners. I think in the next few years, we will see at least 1 expansion team, maybe 2.
And it's tied up with that one.
Talk about a terrific game for Salmon. 13 points, and his huge assist tally makes it all the more impressive.
Well, and he's got this team in such a good groove right now. The way he's moving the ball and passing, getting everybody involved, they're in a great flow.
Dwight Howard, he's checked in for the Rockets. And that drops, so they now lead by 1.
Houston might have made the playoffs in the West last season, guys, but it wasn't because they were beating up on their peers. They were 24-28 against the rest of the West. That's why they got the 8th seed.
Here's Williams. Rebounded by Wolf.
Yeah, he's surprised he didn't make that one because he had a pretty clean look at the hoop.
Vasquez dishes to Salmons. Feeds to Vasquez. Kings moving the ball around. And once again off the mark by Sacramento. You remember the Rockets last year when they were playing a lot of teams in the West near the end of the regular season. That was when they slipped, Steve, out of the 6th seed range down to number 8.
Well, of course, the West was really strong last year, Kevin, so it makes sense that you're going to struggle a little bit against all those good teams. But, Houston ended up being the only team in the West to make the playoffs with a sub-500 record against the rest of the conference.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Guys, dominant centers often take a pounding with intentional fouls. Dwight Howard admits that for a long time, he'd get frustrated when he didn't get the calls from the officials. And from 2010 to 2011, he led the league in technical fouls. The last 2 seasons, he's dialed it down, but he did draw criticism for getting kicked out of a game in the playoffs. He said, "When I allow those petty things to get to me, it affects my teammates and we lose games. I've got to do a better job of keeping my composure, to affect the game and not let the game affect me." Guys, he's made strides, but he's got to continue to put that perspective into action.
Doris, interesting how that mental discipline and training can help sometimes as much as the physical side. Thank you. And the shot is good from Wolf. Guys, close one here. No team getting a huge advantage.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, there have already been 5 lead changes, but nobody taking control of it.
A great matchup. I mean, these 2 teams really match up well talent-wise. I'm enjoying this.
The Kings leading. Vasquez with it. Williams picks him up. Pass to Vasquez. He dishes it to Salmons. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Salmons got 6 in the quarter.
a large part of what they've been able to do here is centered around his offense.
Williams gets a screen from Howard. The tray. And it's Sacramento with the rebound. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Houston this season.
Yeah, a very familiar opponent. They've played these guys an awful lot over the years, and this is the first of their 4 get-togethers this season.
Well, I think he had all the space he needed. He just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
Here's Kanan. He's guarded by Thomas. Williams kicks to Garcia, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Williams. Garcia's got 5 now. A lot of familiarity with these two teams. Steve just kind of touched on. Clark, do you think it really does impact the rest of their matchups later in the season?
Absolutely, Kevin. It sure does. I mean, because for the winners today, they now know what game plans brought them success. So they've got a blueprint for the next meeting. For the losers, it's back to the drawing board for adjustments. That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They've got to get more intense.
Rockets trail by 4. Williams passes to Parsons. Here's Garcia. Kept alive. Howard. It's blocked. Vasquez with it. Now guarded by Parsons. Too long in the paint, and he's hit with a 3-second violation. And he shows the focus there, nails the technical.
Sacramento really had a lot of problems finding consistency game to game, and it showed up when they would have to take on other teams in the West. Just didn't look quite as cohesive and as desperate to win as the rest of the conference, and that ends up costing you games.
52 seconds left to play in the third. Here's the machine. He's guarded by Asher. 5 to shoot. Pulls up. Down it goes. Nice one there from Wolf. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back. Well, Clark, as you said, the Kings struggled against the West, really against Western teams not in their division. They would play the division tough, but didn't do much against Steve, the other 2 Western divisions.
Well, they only won 14 games against the rest of the conference, which was the fewest of any team in the West last year. But of those 14 wins, 7 came against the Pacific. So that's kind of interesting when you look at the disparity between their wins.
Here's Beverly, covered by Fredette. Here's Beverly. There's the pass to Kanan. Lets it go with the 3. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Kings lead by 7. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this.
On Tap Wednesday, December 18th, DeMarcus Cousins and the Sacramento Kings hit the road for a duel with the Atlanta Hawks. Hoops action.
Here now a chance to show you our assist of the game, and it's presented as always by State Farm.
That was a beautiful pass, nice, intelligent basketball. The execution was perfect, and that pass set up the open 3.
The machines checked in for Sacramento. Here's Lynn. Our fourth quarter action underway, presented by Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups. On the court for Sacramento. Wolf in at the 4 spot. Jimmer Fredette is out there with Thornton. Then there's DeMarcus Cousins, and it's Landry in at the small forward position. Passes it to Wolf, and stolen by Parsons. Knocked loose. And again, shot good from Wolf. And the Kings lead by 8.
The defense pretty much helpless there, stopping that layup. I think too much of a mismatch in terms of height.
And turnovers, Clark and Steve, have been the issue for him.
Yeah, it sure has been the case. I mean, turnovers are like missing breakfast. Eventually, it's going to cost you.
Why does it always come back to food, Clark?
That's some grit and determination in the post. Essential qualities to have late in a close game.
Exactly. I mean, this is the time to attack on the interior and generate those easy opportunities.
Here's Thornton. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. Thornton's got the lead. Back up to 8 now for the Kings. They've been doing a great job of sharing the ball.
Excellent display of team play.
Steve, I know you love great teamwork.
Yeah, so much fun to watch when the ball is moving. There's kind of a rhythm to the game that just happens. The ball moves almost on its own, Kevin. It's fun to watch. Unstoppable offense from both teams. I love the pace this game has been played at.
So does everybody else in the building. This has been a fun one.
That is good.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Lynn dishes to Beverly. Back to Lynn. There's the lob to the hoop. And it's slammed in by Howard.
Grown man's power flush with the long hang on the rim at the end of it.
Clark, that could be a catalyst for him.
I think you're right.
Well, we've seen these kind of plays get them going in the past, that's for sure.
Kings leading now by 6. Fredette with it. Pass to Wolf. Andrew with the screen. The jump hook. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Howard's got 9 rebounds now tonight. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again.
Boy, a lot of fans around the league really focused on that matchup for Chicago. This has really become an intense ball game ever since halftime.
Boy, the effort from both teams here, Steve, is terrific.
Fredette gets a screen from Wolf. Right side, Landry. Shot clock at 6. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
You know, Carl Landry has throughout his career played mostly as a reserve, but he is a super sub, a guy who gives you starter caliber scoring and competes defensively on the backboards. That's just what you want off the bench on your front line.
And the first one at the line is good. Well, going back to Landry, a late bloomer, certainly cut from the freshman team in high school. You know the story, barely made the JV team. He didn't play consistent minutes until his senior year, and Carl Landry has become, in a lot of ways, indispensable for Golden State.
And it was in junior college, Kevin, that he really found his game. His coach told him to be more aggressive, looking to score, and once he did that, he really discovered he had a gift for it, and then, of course, went on to Purdue and had an excellent college career. And if they continue to shoot well from the free throw line like they are, I mean, their lead is going to be pretty steady here.
That's not an overstatement. They've literally not missed a single foul shot this half.
Lynn kicks to Brooks. Back to Lynn. With some arc, and he lays it up and in.
You know, they've been so effective when they've been able to get the ball inside.
Some real shortcomings from this defense. I mean, they've given up 5 straight looks in the paint.
Thomas goes in. Here's Salmons. The offensive rebound. Here's the machine. Back to Thomas. Takes the 3. Kept alive by Sacramento. Got a piece of it. And here is Lynn. Parsons outside. He feeds it to Howard. And as it goes out of bounds, Houston able to keep the ball here. Chance to check out the Sacramento Kings' upcoming schedule. It's off to Charlotte for them after this game as they take on the Bobcats. And that'll be game 1 of a 4-game road trip.
I know I'll be looking out for the final score in that Heat game. It should be a close one.
Here's Brooks. Sacramento grabs the miss. The Machine's got double-digit rebounds now in the game. Thomas kicks to Selmans. Now the pass to Wolf. Outside Thomas. There's the dish to Thornton. Rebound Ashik. Ashik's got 9 rebounds now tonight.
And he continues to search for his rhythm. It's eluded him to this point.
And Brooks, here we go.
Houston found their way back into the playoffs last season, but really it wasn't because they were a tough team on the road. They only had 16 wins away from Houston last season.
At the line for the Rockets, Aaron Brooks, taking 2 shots.
That free throw, no good.
Well, it seems like they're having a lot of trouble at the line today, and it's just been that kind of a day.
And he sinks the second. Sacramento leading by 3. Thomas passes to Wolf. It's Selmans on the wing. And right through it goes. Selmans got 21. And Clark, as you were talking about, the Rockets weren't nearly as troublesome to teams last year when they found themselves in the away locker room. Mostly, Steve, it came down to their offense not having quite as much punch.
Well, most teams don't score as much on the road as they do at home, but for the Rockets, 5 points differential between home and away, it's pretty dramatic. And I think that was one of the reasons why we saw them struggle when they left Houston and tried to get a win.
No luck, and the Rockets take it the other way. And Brooks, here we go. Lynn fires. No good off the front iron.
He has not been on his game, and their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not helped the situation.
And count it, 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line. So Thomas will go to the free throw line. That's on Aaron Brooks. Sacramento making a switch here. Cousins is checked in. Free throw good, Thomas.
There's no question the big news for the Sacramento Kings is they're still the Sacramento Kings. After a nail-biting last couple of years, they saw the team flirt with moving to Virginia, Anaheim, Las Vegas, Seattle. Finally, a new ownership group committed to keeping the team in sack.
Yeah, he's been the key cog in their offense with the way he shot the ball.
His percentage today, beyond impressive. Certainly not his fault the score is what it is.
Tipped away. Here's the Machine. He's guarded by Ashik. Reverses, and the basket is in from Wolf. The Machine's got the lead. Back up to 8 now for Sacramento. And for all the Kings fans, what a great victory. Former 3-time NBA All-Star and Sacramento native son, Mayor Kevin Johnson, instrumental in securing financing for the new arena, and Steve campaigning with the league's owners to keep the team in Northern California.
I think it surprised everyone, Kevin. Seattle made such a strong bid. I think most people felt the team would end up in Seattle, but Johnson did his job. Sacramento stepped up to the plate. And I think it's great that the Kings get to keep their team, and hopefully Seattle will end up with one in the next couple of years.
And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Kings.
Their defense has been outstanding, Kevin. Closing out on shots, blocking a lot of them as well.
And, Steve, we can't fail to mention all the steals they've piled up, too. I mean, that's making a big difference. They've really gotten into them defensively.
Thomas kicks to Selmans. Passes to Wolf. Now the feed to Cousins. And it's sent back by Howard. Dishes it to Parsons. Back to Lynn. He kicks it to Howard. Pass to Brooks. Feeds to Usher. Shot is no good. Excellent D there from Wolf. Sacramento leading by 8. Thornton dishes to Selmans. Outside Thomas. 4 on the shot clock. Plenty of space. Sacramento gets it back. Wolf. There's the bucket. Good. The Machine's got the lead up to 10 now for the Kings.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
Yep, that's something that the defense has to put a stop to. Maybe a defensive adjustment is necessary here.
Howard, the pass to Brooks. Back to Howard. Nice shot by Brooks. Brooks has got 10 points here in the second half.
I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Mike Malone as he addressed his team. He was absolutely adamant, saying, don't let them off the hook. Let's keep our foot on the pedal and keep doing the things that have gotten us here this far. We're almost home.
Screen by Cousins. On the wing, Selmans. Misses off the left iron.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
Brooks with it. Now defended by Thornton. Brooks kicks to Howard. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Brooks. 14 points for Howard.
And he just used his height that time down low. That's going to be pretty hard to defend against.
Thomas dishes to Cousins. Kicks it to Thornton. He dishes it to Selmans. That's short off the rim.
And I'll tell you what, this has been one ugly quarter for him.
And it keeps getting uglier. I mean, his touch has basically gone AWOL.
Lynn against Thornton. A shot by Howard. Goes back up. Count that one, and the Kings' lead has been cut down to just 4 points in the bucket from Usher.
That's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle much more effectively.
Yeah, and until they do, the problems inside are only going to get worse.
Thomas passes to Wolf. Pass to Selmans. He feeds it to Thomas. To the paint, and there's the foul. It'll go on Aaron Brooks. That'll be his second foul of the game. .11 left in the fourth quarter. Cousins against Howard. Lock at 6. Selmans. And right on target with the switch. Selmans got 13 points in the second half. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
During that break, Coach Mike Malone had some words for his team. Offensively, he wants them to work the ball around more than they have been. He told his guys they rush things far too much at that end of the court, and it's leading to sloppy possessions. He mentioned one other thing, which was that he does not want his players getting overly aggressive at the defensive end. He wants them playing under control. Guys, we'll see how Coach's direction pays off as this one winds down. Kevin?
All right, Doris, thanks. Thomas against Brooks. In close. Nails it! And now they trail by just 4.
He is feeling it. A terrific percentage from the field.
And the Kings shooting it up around 51%. They're getting good looks. And Thornton kicks to Thomas. Nails it! And he has brought them to within 2 points.
Oh, what a basket, and at the perfect time.
How about the courage and backbone of this guy? Wow.
Good.
Well, that just adds to what's probably an already insurmountable lead. I think they'll be walking out of here with a pretty easy victory.
Steve, I think that's a given.
Here's Lynn. Jacks up a three. Brooks misses. And now we've got the intentional foul.
And that's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Yep, you got to extend the game here. Try to keep that clock from moving.
Shooting for Sacramento. At the line for two.
It's the first, and that puts them up by 5. And a tough break as his second attempt at the line, no good. The three can't hit.
These are incredible rebounding numbers. I'm not sure if we've ever seen anything like this, Clark.
Oh, that's for sure, Steve. I mean, a superhuman performance on the backboard. Well done.
So the Kings win it. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Gentlemen, I'm here with DeMarcus Cousins. And DeMarcus, tell us what the team did tonight that made you guys so effective.
Sharing the ball. That's the main thing. I mean, when they ask what the keys to this team winning, I always say that's sharing the ball. So when we play that way, it's hard to beat us.
Thank you so much. Back to you guys at the table.
Doris, thank you. And for Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, and the rest of our great 2K Sports crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us as Jordan presents our player of the game, The Machine.